The rain streaked the windows of the Royal Courts of Justice in London, a grey shroud over the city's legal heart. Inside Courtroom 12, the air buzzed with tension as Stanton Greaves, a billionaire real estate tycoon, lounged in the defendant's chair. At 62, he was a towering figure, white-haired, broad-shouldered, his tailored suit a testament to his wealth. His empire, Greaves Properties, spanned continents. But today he faced a reckoning. A class-action lawsuit alleging housing fraud that had displaced hundreds of low-income tenants across East London. Stanton smirked as the proceedings began, his blue eyes glinting with disdain. He'd weathered lawsuits before. Bribes, backroom deals, and a team of shark-like lawyers had always kept him untouchable. This time, though, the judge was new to him. Olivia Hart sat behind the bench, her presence calm but commanding. At 48, she was striking. Deep brown skin, hair coiled neatly atop her head, her black robes crisp against the oak paneling. Her reputation preceded her. A former housing rights lawyer turned high court judge, known for her razor-sharp mind and unshakable resolve. "All rise," the clerk intoned, and the room obeyed, except Stanton. He leaned back, crossing his arms, a deliberate show of disrespect. Olivia's gaze flicked to him, steady and unyielding. But she said nothing yet. The plaintiff's counsel, a wiry man named Daniel Patel, opened with a litany of charges: falsified leases, illegal evictions, predatory rent hikes, all orchestrated by Greaves Properties to gentrify Tower Hamlets, pushing out families for luxury condos. Stanton's lead attorney, Rupert Langley, a silver-haired barrister with a plummy accent, rose to counter. "My client is a businessman, not a charity. These tenants failed to pay, and Mr. Greaves acted within his rights as a property owner. This is a witch hunt, Your Honor." Olivia's pen paused over her notes. "We'll see what the evidence says, Mr. Langley. Proceed, Mr. Patel." As Patel called his first witness, a single mother named Aisha Khan, Stanton leaned toward Langley, his whisper loud enough to carry. "Who does she think she is, this one? Bet she's never owned a damn thing in her life. Probably got that robe on a handout." A ripple of gasps spread through the gallery. Aisha faltered mid-testimony, her hands twisting in her lap. Olivia's head snapped up, her voice cutting through the room like a blade. "Mr. Greaves, you will address this court with respect, or I'll hold you in contempt. Am I clear?" Stanton chuckled, unfazed. "Sure, sweetheart. Whatever you say." The courtroom stilled. Olivia's jaw tightened, but her composure held, a steel forged from years of facing men like him. "That's Your Honor," she corrected, her tone ice-cold. "One more outburst, and you'll spend the night in a cell. Test me if you'd like." He smirked but stayed silent, confident his money would bury this case like all the others. Olivia nodded to Patel. "Continue." Aisha resumed, her voice trembling as she recounted losing her flat of 10 years to a forged eviction notice. "They changed the locks while I was at work. Me and my kids slept in a shelter for weeks." Her eyes glistened, and the gallery murmured, sympathy from some, indifference from others in Greaves's camp. Stanton yawned, checking his Rolex. He'd heard sob stories before. Tenants were pawns, expendable in the game of profit. But as the day wore on, more voices joined Aisha's. An elderly Jamaican man, evicted despite paid rent. A young Somali couple harassed into leaving. Each tale chipped at his smug facade, though he'd never admit it. By week 2, the courtroom was a battlefield. Patel's team unveiled damning evidence. Emails from Stanton ordering managers to clear out the riffraff, forged documents bearing his signature, and whistleblower testimony from a former Greaves Properties accountant. The accountant, a nervous woman named Claire Henshaw, fidgeted as she spoke. He told us to bury complaints, said they don't matter. Nobody listens to people like them. Stanton's smirk faded, replaced by a scowl. He scribbled a note to Langley. Pay her off. Now. But Langley shook his head subtly. Too late for that. The gallery buzzed, reporters scribbling furiously. Olivia remained a statue, her dark eyes scanning every exhibit, missing nothing. During a recess, Stanton cornered Langley in the corridor, his voice a low growl. This is getting out of hand. That woman up there, she's biased. Look at her. She's one of them, siding with the sob stories. Langley adjusted his wig, uneasy. She's a judge, Stanton, and a damn good one. We need to pivot. Plead negligence, not intent. Negligence, Stanton snapped. I don't plead anything. I built this city. They should thank me. Get me out of this, or you're done. Back in court, the plaintiff's case grew ironclad. A video surfaced, grainy security footage of Stanton at a company gala, slurring into a mic. East London's a dump because of who lives there. We're cleaning it up, making it white. Right, again. Laughter had followed then. Now, the room sat in stunned silence. Olivia's voice broke it. Mr. Greaves, care to explain? Langley leapt up. Objection. Irrelevant. Overruled, Olivia said evenly. It's relevant to motive. Answer the question. Stanton glared, his face reddening. It was a joke. People get too sensitive these days. A joke, Olivia repeated, her tone dry. Evicting families for profit is quite the punchline. Sit down. The gallery erupted. Whispers, gasps, a few claps quickly hushed. Stanton's fists clenched, but he sat, his arrogance cracking under her unflinching stare. She wasn't just a judge. She was a force. And he was starting to feel it. That night, alone in his Mayfair penthouse, Stanton poured a scotch, pacing before a wall of awards. He'd built Greaves Properties from nothing, turned slums into gold. He deserved respect, not this circus. Yet Olivia Hart's face haunted him. Calm, unbowed, a black woman daring to judge him. He hurled the glass at the fireplace, shards scattering. She won't win, he muttered. But doubt gnawed at him, a new sensation he loathed. Week 4 brought the climax. Patel called his final witness, Malik Johnson, a 19-year-old whose family lost their home to Greaves's scheme. Malik's voice shook but grew steady as he spoke. My dad worked 2 jobs to keep that flat. They threw us out like trash, said we didn't belong in their London. Mum's sick now, stressed out of her mind. This wasn't just business. It was personal. Stanton rolled his eyes, but the gallery leaned forward, riveted. Olivia's pen scratched across her notes, her face unreadable. When Malik finished, tears streaking his cheeks, even Langley shifted uncomfortably. The defense floundered. Langley argued market forces, tenant irresponsibility, anything to deflect. But the evidence was a tidal wave. Financial records, witness accounts, Stanton's own words. As closing arguments loomed, he hissed to Langley, "Fix this, or I'll bury you too." Langley's summation was polished but hollow. Patel's was raw, fierce, ending with a plea. Justice isn't for sale. Hold him accountable. The courtroom held its breath as Olivia deliberated. After 3 tense days, she returned, her robe swishing as she took the bench. This court has heard tales of greed, deceit, and suffering, she began, her voice clear and resonant. Mr. Greaves, You treated human beings as obstacles to profit, exploiting their trust and their homes. Your wealth does not exempt you from the law. Stanton stiffened, his pulse racing. She continued, unflinching. On all counts of fraud and unlawful eviction, I find you guilty. You're fined £50 million, payable to a restitution fund for the victims. Greaves Properties will undergo a 2-year audit, and you, personally, are barred from real estate dealings in the UK for 5 years. The room exploded. Gasps, cheers, reporters scrambling. Stanton shot to his feet, face purple. This is outrageous. You can't do this. I'll appeal. You're free to try, Olivia said coolly. But the law stands. Sit down or I'll add contempt to your ledger. He sank back, stunned, as bailiffs flanked him. The gallery buzzed, the plaintiffs weeping with relief. Aisha hugged Malik, whispering thanks. Olivia's gavel fell, a thunderclap of justice. Stanton's fall rippled through London. Headlines screamed, "Billionaire brought low by iron judge." His empire teetered, investors pulling out, his name a pariah. In his penthouse he raged to a shrinking circle of loyalists, vowing revenge. But the appeal stalled. Olivia's ruling was airtight. Her past as a housing rights lawyer giving her an edge no one could crack. Olivia, meanwhile, returned to her chambers each night, exhausted but resolute. She'd faced men like Stanton before, arrogant, entitled, blind to their own rot. Born in Brixton to a single mother, she'd fought for every step. Law school on scholarships, decades battling landlords for the powerless. This case was personal, though she'd never admit it aloud. At home, she'd sip tea, staring at photos of her own family's struggles, and wonder if one victory could shift the tide. Lower Ashford felt it too. The restitution fund began rebuilding lives. New flats for Aisha, medical care for Malik's mom. Yet whispers persisted. She's too harsh, some said of Olivia, or he was just doing business. Racism didn't vanish with a gavel. It lingered in boardrooms, pubs, quiet streets. One evening, months later, Olivia spoke at a legal forum, her voice steady. Justice isn't a finish line. It's a fight. We won today, but tomorrow's another battle. The crowd applauded, but outside a protester scrawled, "Race card judge" on a wall. She saw it, sighed, and kept walking. Stanton, stripped of power, retreated to a villa in Spain, plotting a comeback. But in London, a young tenant, a girl displaced by his schemes, applied to law school, inspired by Olivia's stand. The city hummed on, its shadows unchanged yet pierced by light. Who would rise next? And would the scales ever truly balance? The question hung, sharp and alive.